Dear everyone's, in a world brimming with noise, competition, and an endless pursuit of more, a singular, potent question often holds the key to true fulfillment, lasting success, and profound impact. Why? Simon Sinek, in his seminal work, Start with Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action, invites us on a transformative journey to uncover the fundamental principle that separates the truly inspiring from the merely successful. This is not just a business book, it's a philosophical exploration of human motivation, a blueprint for building movements, and a heartfelt plea for all of us to discover and live by our deepest purpose. The Golden Circle. A simple yet profound revelation. At the heart of Sinek's philosophy lies the Golden Circle, a deceptively simple yet profoundly powerful concept. Imagine 3 concentric circles. The outer circle. What? Every organization and every individual can articulate what they do. This is the product they sell, the service they provide, the job title they hold. It's tangible, observable, and often the first thing we communicate. The middle circle. How? Some organizations and individuals know how they do what they do. These are their unique selling propositions, their values, their processes, their differentiating factors. They explain how they are different or better. The inner circle. Why? Very few individuals or organizations can clearly articulate why they do what they do. This isn't about making money, that's a result. The why is your purpose, your cause, your belief. It's the reason your organization exists, the reason you get out of bed every morning, and the reason anyone should care. Sinek's revelation is that most of us, and most organizations, communicate from the outside in. We start with what we do, then explain how we're different, and rarely, if ever, get to why. But the truly inspiring leaders and organizations communicate from the inside out. They start with why. Manipulation versus inspiration. The 2 paths to influence. Before delving deeper into the power of why, Sinek draws a critical distinction between 2 primary ways to influence human behavior: manipulation and inspiration. Manipulation is prevalent in our world. It includes tactics like price, discounts, sales, and competitive pricing. Promotions. Buy 1, get 1 free, limited time offers. Fear. Buy this insurance before it's too late. Aspiration. Achieve your dream body in 30 days. Peer pressure. Everyone else is doing it. These tactics can certainly drive behavior and generate transactions in the short term. They might boost sales, grab market share, or even motivate employees temporarily. However, Sinek argues that manipulations do not build loyalty. They create a transactional relationship, where customers or employees are constantly seeking the next best deal or avoiding the next fear. It's a race to the bottom, often leading to commoditization and a lack of true connection. Inspiration, on the other hand, is born from the why. When you communicate your deepest purpose, you don't just attract customers, you attract believers. You don't just hire employees, you recruit partners in a cause. This path cultivates profound loyalty, resilience, and a shared sense of mission that transcends fleeting incentives. Inspired individuals are not merely motivated, they are driven by an intrinsic belief that aligns with yours. They don't just work for a paycheck, they work for something greater than themselves. The biology of the why. Speaking to the soul. Sinek explains why starting with why is so powerful by connecting it to our basic human biology. The Golden Circle, he posits, correlates directly with sections of the human brain. The what corresponds to the neocortex. This is the newest part of our brain, responsible for rational and analytical thought, language, and logic. It allows us to process facts, figures, and features. The how and why correspond to the limbic brain. This older part of the brain is responsible for all our feelings, such as trust, loyalty, decision-making, and even behavior. Crucially, the limbic brain has no capacity for language. When we communicate from the what to the how, we engage the neocortex. People can understand the facts and features, but this doesn't necessarily drive deep connection or action. It's like presenting a logical argument that someone understands but doesn't feel. However, when we communicate from the why first, we speak directly to the limbic brain. This bypasses the analytical, logical part of our brain and goes straight to the part that controls feelings and decision-making. People don't just understand your why, they feel it. When they feel a connection to your purpose, they are far more likely to take action, make a purchase, or dedicate themselves to your cause. Their decision then feels right, and they can later rationalize it with the what and how. This biological alignment explains why companies that start with why can inspire immense loyalty and achieve extraordinary things, even when their what and how aren't necessarily superior in a purely rational sense. Real-world movements. The proof of the why. Sinek illustrates the power of starting with why through compelling real-world examples. Apple. While other companies communicated, "We make great computers," what Apple started with. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. Why? The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. How? We just happen to make great computers. What? This inside-out communication resonated with people who also believed in challenging the status quo, creating a passionate, loyal following far beyond mere product users. They didn't just buy a computer, they bought into a belief system. Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't say, "I have a plan." What? Or, "I have a strategy." How? He said, "I have a dream." Why? His why was a vision of equality and justice, and millions were inspired to join his movement, not for personal gain, but because they shared his profound belief. The Wright brothers versus Samuel Pierpont Langley. Both aimed to invent a flying machine. Langley had significant government funding, a team of top scientists, and media attention. He focused on the what, building a machine to fly. The Wright brothers, with far fewer resources, were driven by an unwavering belief in the human spirit and the possibility of flight. Why? Their why drew passionate individuals to their cause, and they achieved sustained flight first, not because of superior resources, but because of a superior sense of purpose. These examples underscore that innovation and leadership are not about what you offer, but why you offer it. Finding your why. The journey within. Sinek emphasizes that your why is not something you invent, it's something you discover. It's an articulation of your purpose, cause, or belief that comes from deep introspection, looking backward at your experiences, and identifying recurring patterns that define who you are at your best. For individuals, finding your why means understanding what truly drives you, what contribution you are meant to make, and what core belief guides your actions. For organizations, it involves defining the fundamental reason for their existence beyond profit, the impact they truly want to have on the world. This process requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to look beyond the superficial. The why in action: culture, trust, and loyalty. A clear why acts as a powerful filter for decision-making and a magnet for talent and customers. Building trust. Trust emerges when we have a sense that another person or organization is driven by something beyond their own self-interest. When your why is clear and consistently demonstrated, trust flourishes. Hiring for why. Great companies don't hire skilled people and then try to motivate them. They hire already motivated people who believe what the company believes, and then inspire them. Skills can be taught, but a shared sense of purpose is invaluable. When employees align with the why, they don't just work for the company. They work for themselves and for the cause they believe in. Organizational culture. The why forms the bedrock of an organization's culture. It provides clarity, direction, and a common set of values that guide behavior and foster a sense of belonging. Differentiation. In a crowded marketplace, the what can be copied and the how can be imitated. But the why is unique. It's your ultimate differentiator, attracting those who resonate with your purpose, creating a loyal tribe around your brand or idea. When the why becomes fuzzy, the path to decline. Sinek warns that even successful organizations can falter when they lose sight of their why. When profit becomes the sole focus, or when leaders fail to consistently articulate and embody their core purpose, the why becomes fuzzy. This leads to loss of loyalty. Both customers and employees become transactional, easily swayed by better prices or promotions from competitors. Reliance on manipulation. The organization resorts more heavily to short-term manipulations to drive sales, creating a vicious cycle that erodes trust and long-term viability. Lack of innovation. Without a guiding why, innovation often becomes reactive, focusing on merely keeping up with competitors rather than pioneering new paths. Internal discord. Employees feel disconnected, leading to lower morale, higher turnover, and a less engaged workforce. The diffusion of innovation, a natural alignment. Sinek connects "Start with why" to Everett Rogers' diffusion of innovation theory, which describes how new ideas and technologies spread through a culture. Innovators, 2.5%. Early adopters, 13.5%. Early majority, 34%. Late majority, 34%. Laggards, 16%. For any idea or product to cross the chasm from early adopters to the early majority and achieve mass market success, it needs to appeal to the why. The innovators and early adopters are often driven by an intuitive belief in the why of a product or idea. They don't just buy the what, they buy the vision. When you start with why, you naturally attract these individuals, and they become your advocates, helping to spread your message and inspire the early majority. Without appealing to the why, it's incredibly difficult to reach critical mass. Conclusion. A world that starts with why. Start with why is more than a business strategy. It's a call to ignite human potential by aligning our actions with our deepest beliefs. It's about building a world where organizations and individuals are driven by purpose, fostering cultures of trust, innovation, and lasting impact. By daring to ask and answer why, we can find clarity in our own lives and work. Inspire others to join us in meaningful endeavors. Build resilient organizations that stand the test of time. Create a more fulfilled and connected society. Simon Sinek's message is a beacon for anyone seeking to lead, to innovate, or simply to live a life with greater purpose and meaning. It reminds us that true success is not measured by what we achieve, but by why we strive, and the profound impact we create along the way. The journey to influence, to inspire, and to truly lead, always begins with why.